Good morning, good morning. It's summer. How many of you enjoying your summer? Come on, nobody? Okay, we got a couple people over here. They clearly go to school and are glad to be out. No, okay. Yes, it is. I love summer. It's busy. It's exciting. We are in a series called the Summer Survival Guide. And so as we've been going through these messages, Pastor Corey tore it up the last 2 weeks, did he not? Yes. So good that we have a pastor who can I love when Pastor Corey speaks, there's just the authenticity that just pours out of him. You just want to connect, right? So he did such a fantastic job. Today I want to jump into someone who has survived in Scripture. One of those survival people. So as we, get through the summer, surviving the hot months, getting through how to deal with kids who no longer have a set schedule, and you have to deal with them telling them how bored they are. We're the summer survival. There's not a better. I don't like the word character because that makes it into a story. There's not a better account in the Bible of an individual who was a survivor than this guy named Joseph. Now, Joseph is in the Old Testament, in Genesis, the very first book of the Bible. His account is there. It takes up the majority of Genesis. So you get through Genesis, is bang, bang, bang. You got creation, you got the fall, you've got this guy named Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, their story and all that's happening with them. And then Jacob has these sons, and there's a really amazing story there that takes place about one of his sons named Joseph, who takes up chapter 37 through 50. The majority of it is all about this kid named Joseph. You know what? I was doing research. I like AI. AI is this interesting thing. I do think it's going to destroy us at some point. It's coming. The human race has to end at some point. We got to go to heaven, all of us. Judgment day is coming. It may come in the form of AI. I don't know. I'm just joking, okay? Jeez, we got real serious on me, like I was prophesying something here. No, I'm just joking. It's interesting. And have you seen there's these making these vlogs now of Joseph made one. If you haven't seen this yet, here, check out this vlog. I want to show it to you. This is Joseph's story.
Yo, check this out. Dad just blessed me with the ultimate coat. Full drip, Technicolor edition.
On the way to check on my bros in the fields again. But yo, let me tell you about this wild dream I had. So the sun, the moon, and 11 stars,
they were all bowing down to me. I'm not saying I'm the main character, but the dream said what it said.
Apparently they don't like dreamers with drip. Now I'm in a pit and they're legit talking about selling me. Brothers, huh?
Vlog update. Egypt's treating me decent. Potiphar basically gave me the keys to the house. From slave to supervisor, God moves fast.
Turned down Potiphar's wife, now I'm in jail. Did the right thing, still got locked up, but God's watching.
Guess who's governor now? Dream came true. Pharaoh put me in charge. Heads up, 7 years of famine coming, so prep your pantry, fam.
I don't know. That's yo, let me tell you about this Joseph dude, this is lit for real. No doubt. I don't know, I'm done. That's my end, that's the end of it. Okay, those are cool. You can actually do these AI things on ChatGPT and create your own little deal. It's pretty cool what you can do with it. Pretty amazing. They left out some bits and pieces. So let me cover the story of Joseph the right way, okay? Let me give you some actual real stuff there, and I won't use the word yo once, okay? Maybe. I don't think so. Okay, Genesis 37 is where the account of Joseph begins. He's born. So let's walk through it. He's born. His father loves him because of who he is and whose son he is. Lots of things that I could go through, but I only have so many minutes. And this is the biggest story in Genesis. So let me concisely tell it to you. So his dad loves him. he favors him. He's the favorite. And he gives him an indication of that, gives him a coat of many colors. Now, of course, having the coat of many colors is cool, but then Joseph has a dream that his family is going to bow down to him. Now, it's one thing to have that dream. It's another thing to share it with your brothers, okay? So, of course, his brothers hear the dream. They say, no, that's not cool. We're older than you, not going to do it. So then the second time, he actually tells his family again. And that time, his father even was like, hey, you got to relax with all that. Well, his brothers get jealous. So his brothers are jealous of him. They're off taking care of the sheep. Jacob sends Joseph to go check on them, to find them and make sure that everything's good. So he goes and finds them, they see an opportunity. They're far away from dad. They take him, they beat him, they throw him into a pit, and the story is the first option was they're going to kill him. And when they kill him, they'll just take his coat back to dad and say, Dad, he must have gotten eaten by wild animals. We found his coat. Well, one of the brothers, Reuben, says, hey guys, it's a little extreme with the killing. So let's instead of killing him, let's put him in the pit and we'll see what's happened. And his thing is he's going to come back and save him. Well, but while Reuben's away, the other brothers see a traveling group of Midianites traveling through, which it's really cool. That's the descendants of Ishmael. That's a whole nother story. You gotta read the book of Genesis. It's really, really good. Lots of drama, kind of crazy. Yeah, hold on. I'll get to one of the craziest parts. It's right in the middle of all this. So they sell him, and he is taken down to Egypt. So he's sold to Potiphar in Egypt. And Potiphar, that's where it ends there for a minute. Then in chapter 38, we have a really weird story where a father-in-law ends up, it's weird. I won't even go there. Go read it. Chapter 38. Chapter 39 picks up Joseph's story. So now he's in Egypt. He's prospers and gains leadership in Potiphar's household. So while he's there, he's helping everything happen, and Potiphar gives him more and more authority there, and everything's going good. Potiphar's house is multiplying because of Joseph. Everything's good until Potiphar's wife sees he must be an attractive dude. So she tries to seduce him. And this is a tough thing. I mean, guys that are attractive, this is a hard thing for us to deal with. I mean, so well, that's not a laughing point in my message. So Joseph Potiphar's wife tries to seduce Joseph. He rejects the offer, runs from her. As he's running away from her, she grabs his outer cloak, and then she claims that he was trying to rape her. So this begins a whole thing. He's thrown into prison, and he's there for a while. You get to Genesis chapter 40. In Genesis chapter 40, he finds favor in prison, and then he becomes a leader in prison. And the main guard of the prison begins to give him more and more control. While he's in prison, he interprets the dream of a cupbearer and a baker. So the cupbearer says, hey, he gives him his dream, and Joseph's like, hey, that's awesome. In 3 days, you're going to be brought back up to Pharaoh. You're going to be put back into your position of cupbearer. This is a good thing. And the baker says, hey, I had a dream too. And Joseph tells him, well, yours isn't so good. In 3 days, Pharaoh's going to bring you up, and he's going to put you on the end of a pole, and you're going to die. And there's so much emotion in that. Like as you're reading through these biblical accounts, always pause to think about the humanity that's taking place. This isn't just some thing that happened. These are people. So we have a situation where the cupbearer is like, yay, and the baker's like, And Joseph is the one who delivers both of those that news, both the good news and the bad news. And I'm sure there's some emotional connection to it. Well, so he tells the cupbearer when he gives him his good news, he's like, hey, remember me when you get back up to Pharaoh. I don't belong here. I'm a good guy. So he gets ghosted for 2 years. I did throw in he gets ghosted. If you don't know what ghosted means, they forget about you. They move on. They don't respond to your text messages. No, your Snapchats get left unopened. I don't actually know what that means, but yeah, so, but I've heard the terminology. So he gets ghosted for 2 years. He's down in that prison. Get to Genesis chapter 41. He says Pharaoh has a dream of cows and wheat. And so these there's healthy cows that get eaten by scrawny cows. And then there's healthy wheat that gets destroyed by weak wheat. And this all happens, and he brings all his people in. He says, tell me what these dreams mean. And they go, oh. So Joseph, cupbearer goes, oh, I know a dude that knows how to interpret dreams. So he remembers. So cupbearer remembers him. Then he interprets the dream. Which he tells Pharaoh, what this means is there's going to be 7 years of bumper crop, and then there's going to be 7 years of famine. And if you want to be ready for the 7 years of famine, you need to get ready for it during the bumper crop. So store it all away, and then you'll be ready for when the famine hits. So Pharaoh goes, man, this is awesome. You're so smart. You got this all together. Who's better to be in charge? So he puts Joseph in second in command. And he literally says there's no one in this entire place is going to be put into, will have a higher position other than Pharaoh. So he's top dog of Egypt other than Pharaoh. So it's all happening really, really fast. So get down to Genesis chapter 42 through 50. All that's happening. So the famine actually hits. Egypt is the only country prepared for it, so it hits the entire area of that land. So now his brothers who live in a different country have to come to Egypt to get fed. They have to come by, and he messes with them. There's this whole situation where they come in, he recognizes them, they don't recognize him. And so he does this whole little situation where he helps them understand who he is. And so Jacob and his family finally he shows who he is. He says, "I'm the one that you sold. God sent me here ahead of you." In fact, the way that he worded it in Genesis chapter 50, verse 18, after Jacob had passed away, they said, "Man, this is a scary situation. We're fearful for our lives. You were nice to us while our dad was alive, but now that dad's dead, he might kill us now. He might take his revenge." And Joseph says, that's not how it's going to happen. He says instead, then his brothers came to him, threw themselves before Joseph. "Look, we are slaves," they said. But Joseph replied, "Don't be afraid of me. Am I God, that I can punish you? You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. Now, don't be afraid. I will continue to take care of you and your children." So he reassured them by speaking kindly to them. Just a powerful, powerful story. You want to talk about a survivor? I mean, he was a kid who was bullied by his brothers, thrown into a pit. After the pit, he's put into a position of being a head slave, but then he's thrown into prison. And finally, he ends up being put in a position in the palace. So if you want to follow his story, it goes from a child to a pit to a prison to the palace. What's interesting about studying the Bible is there's a group of us that are using a study called Banding Together. If you're interested in doing what we do, there's several different groups right now that are doing the same Bible reading part together. And so we meet together and we go through specific scriptures each, and there's daily reading. And this part of reading was just this past month was part of what we've been walking through is Genesis. It's been pretty neat as I've studied this. And what's really interesting is that when when there's two pieces of word that connect, my friend Brad Gray, who I got to spend some time with him this past week, a week and a half ago, we got to hang out for quite a while, and he calls it the sacred thread. So when one part of Scripture is connected to another part of Scripture, and then you see it, that makes so much sense. And one of his devotions that he and I were walking through was in Proverbs. Proverbs 4. Proverbs is written by Solomon, Proverbs is written as a book that he's giving to his son. And he tells his son, take these lessons and listen to them and put them to heart. And in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 20, he says, my child, this is the New Living Translation, all the other translations say, my son, listen to this. Pay attention to what I say. Listen carefully to my words. Don't lose sight of them. Let them penetrate deep into your heart, for they bring life to those who find them and healing to their whole body. So he says, let them penetrate into your heart. Then he says to them, guard your heart. So listen, what I'm about to tell you is what's going to give you life. So says, guard your heart above all else. Now, in the Hebrew context here, heart is not it's not saying put a breastplate on. He's saying your heart. That was the heart was the soul. It was the intellect. It was when they said heart, they meant everything, like the way you think, the way your emotions are, who you are as a being, your character. That's your heart. That's what it is. So guard your heart above all else. Put it on guard, for it determines the course of your life. So guard it. Now, then he gives the how to do it. It says, avoid all perverse talk. So that's the first thing. Avoid all perverse talk. Stay away from corrupt speech. Second, look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Thirdly, mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on the safe path. Don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil. So there's this whole thing that you need to let this get deep into your heart. Let this sink in. Hear this real good. And then he says to them, it says to his son, you got to guard your heart. So what do you need to do? You need to guard your soul. Now, secondly, so how do you guard your soul? Well, you have to monitor your words, monitor your eyes, and monitor your feet. And they clicked. Where'd Solomon get this? Where'd Solomon see in his life or in his studies a place where this is something that will allow you to be a survivor? That this verse is what he tells his sons. Listen, to guard your heart, to guard your soul, you're going to need to monitor your words, monitor your eyes, and monitor your feet. So what are your words speaking? What are your eyes looking at? And where are your feet going? Joseph. He saw the example in Joseph. So okay, I'm pulling that sacred thread, and for me, it's just like, and of course, because it was fresh. It was right there. I see it. I connected it. Now let me show you in Joseph how these things all come together. So guard your soul. Joseph faced betrayal, slavery, imprisonment, and temptation, yet remained spiritually strong. Joseph remained healthy because he guarded his mouth, his eyes, and his feet. Let me show you how he did that. He monitored his words. As you read through, and I'm challenging you to do this week, read through Genesis 37 through 50. And read how Joseph never curses his story. How often do we curse our story? I mean, literally, we live in such a crazy time. Like a crazy, crazy time. Like, we have the ability with technology to sit in our home that is air conditioned, right? We can order and purchase a vacuum cleaner that will vacuum our house while we watch a smart TV that we can talk to and tell it what we want to watch. And if you're feeling, like, man, this has just been a hard day, I'm going to DoorDash my food to my door. And I'll know when it's there because on my Ring door camera, I'll see it pull up. Right? And then, in the midst of that, we can look around at our life and go, it's really tough. Man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I challenge you, check your words. Check how you speak about what is going on in your life. And even this is what's like okay, I'm in that. I'm in the mix of that. Because here we have Joseph who never once curses the ones who put him in a bad spot. He never demands justice for his brothers. He never says Potiphar's wife needs to be held accountable for the accusatory that she gave to him. He never went to the cupbearer and said, hey, bro, 2 years, where you been? No, he never curses his story. I want you to change the way you talk about your story. I want you to change how you view and the words that come out of your mouth, because one of the proverbs says that the power of life and death are in the words. Now, I'm not going to go down a prosperity doctrine, but I can tell you this: you can't whisper something and your ears not hear it. What are you speaking about your life? Stop cursing where you've been. Instead, start learning how God's going to use it. So we talk about it. He says, God, it just blows me away, his heart, forgiveness, and the way that he speaks about his life. Right away, as soon as the first time he reveals himself to his brothers of who he is, they're fearful, rightfully so. What does he say to them? He said, God sent me ahead of you to keep you and your families alive and to preserve many survivors. Hey, I went through jail. I went through the pit. I went through the prison. I went through bankruptcy. I went through divorce. I went through cancer treatments. I went through, name it, loss. Put your story in there. Now, add to it, God did that. God didn't do it to you. You experienced it, but God's going to use it to bless others. Amen? Start talking about it that way. Monitor your eyes. This is so powerful, and I could spend an entire message on this point, especially to men, because we're wired for sight. It's what we're wired to do. Now, what Joseph does in a situation where Potiphar's wife throws herself at him. Potiphar's gone. He's on a business trip. Joseph is second command. He can tell all the slaves where to go, what to do, how to do it. It's the availability is there. But in this moment, he instead says, no, I would never do that. And his response is this: no one here has more authority than I do. He's speaking to Potiphar's wife. He has held back nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How could I do such a wicked thing? It would be a great sin against, not Potiphar, God. See, his eyes are not set on his circumstances. They're kept on God. So he's able to monitor his eyes, what he's looking at. And here, instead of looking at your circumstances and focusing on your problems, look at the God who's greater than them. We have the ability to monitor our eyes. So the first thing we need to do is monitor our words. So what are we speaking? How are we speaking about it? The second thing we need to do is monitor our eyes. What are we looking for? Are we constantly focused on our problems? Because then if that's what we're focused on, that's what we'll talk about. So change your view. Now, how do we get the words of God into our life? It's given to us. The greatest gift that we could ever receive. God has given us his words. If you're not putting them into your life, there's no way that your focus can be on them. Okay, so monitor our eyes. Monitor your feet. I love this, that Joseph served with excellence in the pit, the prison, the palace. No matter where he went. It didn't matter where he was. It mattered what he was doing. He did it with excellence. See, I hear it all the time. Well, when I get to that position, then I'll do that. when I get to this position or this level, or when I get to that age, or when I get, it's always something that, no, where you are at, serve with excellence. Put yourself in a position to serve with excellence. Where are your feet? Let your feet operate with purpose. So where does God have your feet right now? And how are you serving in excellence in that area? Got that job you hate? Serve with excellence. Got the dishes to do? Do it with excellence. Got that child to beat? Do it with excellence. Wherever you're at, in school, in life, in whatever position you're at, serve there with excellence. God has put you in that place. Now serve with purpose. So monitor. So if we want to guard our soul, if we want to survive the summer, if we want to survive what's happening, guard your heart. Guard your soul. How do we guard it? We monitor the things that are happening around us, what we're speaking, what we're looking at, and what we're doing. Psalm 37:23, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. So, I love how the story of Joseph kind of concludes in that moment. There's this reinstatement of the fact that Joseph, that he has a pure heart. He's guarded his heart. And he says to them, so do not fear, I will continue to provide for you and your little ones. I love this, that Joseph didn't just survive, he became a soul saver of others. So yeah, we've got this little summer survival series going on. It's cute. But my goal isn't for you to make it through the summer. My goal is for you to thrive through the summer, to thrive in your life. And how do we do that? Well, we do it by monitoring your words. Speak God's truth over your life. We monitor your eyes. We look to God in difficulty. We monitor your feet. You walk with purpose.